Oh, how's it going, everybody? And we're back for an edition of All In, where I'll pick a rock artist, I'll listen to the entire discography, and give my thoughts on it. And the rules kind of go like this. The band in question must have 5 or more original studio albums. Cover albums can count. I generally don't count and talk about live or acoustic albums unless the tracks are original in that form. So here we go. We're going a lot more modern this week. We feature In This Moment. That's right. So you got Maria Brink behind the mic, famously known as the vocalist here. And so their discography spans from 2007's Beautiful Tragedy, which I just showed there, all the way to 2023, 2 years ago, with God Mode. And my first time hearing them, it was right about the time I subscribed to Sirius Satellite Radio. I would say I subscribed to the service right about the same time Beautiful Tragedy came out in 2007. And I was hearing a couple of their tracks on Heart Attack, back before XM and Sirius merged and they changed the name of the channel to Liquid Metal. But anyhow, I believe it was a song, the song Prayers, I believe, was the first song I heard on there. And then a little bit later on, I heard Beautiful Tragedy. And yeah, this album is like really, really heavy. Like, they started off almost like a death metal sound, kept that for the first couple albums, and then by the 2010s, they sort of evolved more into like industrial metal. And then by about the late 2010s and now, they mellowed out a little bit. But anyhow, let's go over the albums. So first we have, of course, Beautiful Tragedy. Of course, I just talked briefly about it. But here we have Whispers of October, which is the intro, Prayers, Beautiful Tragedy, Ashes, all good songs right there. Daddy's Fallen Angel, that's it. That's the other one they were playing over there. It was real, real hard. You got The Legacy of Odio, This Moment, Next Life, She Said Eternity, Circles, and When the Storm Subsides. And yeah, if you like hardcore metal with chick vocalists, this is a good album for sure. And I don't know, no, I did not get this off BMG. Remember back in the day, bling, when you had enhanced CDs? You pop it in your computer, you might get a music video. It's some pretty cool shit. Oh, and I love how they like promote other bands in there too. Like, you don't get this anymore. Or you can buy In This Moment merch. Yeah, buddy. That's the beauty of physical media. Little stuff like that. It's almost like getting a prize out of the cereal box when you're a kid. But anyhow, moving on, we got 2008's The Dream. And of course, that's the only other physical copy I got. I got the special edition here, but you also get the original cover when you take the sleeve off. This is actually a 2-disc edition here. So, in the original disc, you get The Rabbit Hole, you get the song Forever, which was pretty good, All For You, Lost at Sea, Mechanical Love, Her Kiss, Into the Light, You Always Believed, The Great Divide, Violent Skies, and The Dream. And then on the bonus disc, you get the cover Call Me, which was Blondie. Then you get Sailing Away, A Dying Star, an instrumental version of Call Me, and an instrumental version of Forever, which is pretty cool. And I would say this is about where you started to hear them over on Octane. Like, they evolved a little bit in this album, but they were still pretty heavy. But I would say Call Me sort of got their foot in the door as far as, like, the more popular rock. But yeah, pretty good follow-up to the first one. Loved it. So then, we cross over into the 2010s. We have A Star-Crossed Wasteland. And so here we start off with the song The Gun Show. Really heavy track, almost as if they carried over from the first album on that one. You have Just Drive. You have The Promise featuring Adrian Patrick of Otherwise. Really good tune. This is another one that kind of got him over to, the more mainstream rock. You have Standing Alone, A Star-Crossed Wasteland, Blazin', The Road featuring Gus G, Iron Army, The Last Cowboy, World in Flames, and if you got the deluxe edition, you get Remember and A Star-Crossed Wasteland and the acoustic version. So, yeah, definitely a good, well, not a sophomore album, but could you call it a junior album, I guess? So then we move on to 2012, we have Blood. This is where I think they peaked in popularity as far as, rock bands go. So, of course, we have Rise With Me. Then we have the title track Blood, very popular. This is where I think they started to get more into the industrial metal sound here. You got Adrenalize, real good song. You got the song Whore. This is a really funny one. I love it. When a song is called Whore, you know it's good. You got You're Gonna Listen, It Is Written, Burn, Scarlet, Aries, From the Ashes, Beast Within, Comanche, The Blood Legion, and 1111. And then, if you get the bonus track, you get a cover of Closer, which was originally 9 Inch Nails. Very interesting take on that song. And I thought it was a good cover, honestly. I didn't hate it. So, moving on to 2014, we have the album Black Widow. So, of course, we start off with The Infection, which was, the album intro. You have Sex Metal Barbie. I wasn't really a big fan of that one. You got Big Bad Wolf, like that one. Good song. You got Dirty Pretty, Black Widow, Sexual Hallucination with Brent Smith. You got Sick Like Me, which is another good one. Bloody Creature of the Poster Girl, The Fighter, Bones, Natural Born Sinner, Into the Darkness, and we end with Out of Hell. And if you got the bonus, you got Turn You and Ribcage. That would be the Best Buy edition. So, honestly, not as good as Blood. I loved Blood. This one here, it was kind of hit or miss for me. And then we move on to 2017's Ritual. So here we start off with Salvation, then we have the song Oh Lord, real popular. We have Black Wedding, which is actually featuring Rob Halford of Judas Priest. And it's worth noting that this is actually a cover of White Wedding by Billy Idol. You wouldn't think it. I mean, the two sound so much different as far as the musical style. You wouldn't think it was a remake if you didn't really listen close. They just changed it to Black Wedding. And then we have In the Air Tonight, which was Phil Collins. I mean, honestly, I like the original and I like non-points versions better than this. So, I mean, it was okay, but not the best. You have Joan of Arc, River of Fire, Witching Hour, Twin Flames, Half God, Half Devil, No Me Importa, I guess that's Spanish, Roots, Lay Your Gun Down, and then, of course, we get a bonus track, we get Creep, which was a Radiohead cover. So, it was okay. I mean, I wasn't a fan of it, honestly. So, moving on to the COVID years, we got Mother, which is the name of this album. And this is kind of where I sort of fell off from listening to them. I don't know much with this album and the next one, so kind of bear with me here. But we have The Beginning, and then they cover Fly Like an Eagle by Steve Miller Band. Of course, they have the Red Crusade interlude, the In-Between, Legacy, and then they cover Queen's We Will Rock You, which is kind of odd. Then you got Mother, As Above, So Below, Born in Flames, God Is She, Holy Man, Hunting Grounds, Lay Me Down, and then you have Into Dust, which was a Massey Star cover. I don't remember hearing the original, so I guess it wasn't really that popular a song. But it was kind of a slower song, but not a bad song. So, moving on to the end of the discography so far, we have God Mode, which came out 2 years ago in 2023. Of course, you get the title track. We have The Purge. We have Army of Me, which is a Bjork cover. I guess that's how you say it. Sacrifice, Skyburner, Sanctify Me, Everything Starts and Ends with You. We have Damaged, Fatebringer, and I Would Die For You. And they really kept it short on this one. But all in all, not too bad. So, oh yeah, I do gotta give honorable mention to the song Gravity by Papa Roach. Just for the simple fact that Maria Brink did guest in this song. And kind of segueing to what my next thought, yes, I did get to see them live once. And it was me and my fiance, we went to the Rock Allegiance show back in 2015 down in Chester, Pennsylvania. And yeah, they did put on a pretty good show. They stuck more to like their 2010 stuff. They didn't really play much of like the really old and heavy stuff. They kind of stuck more to what was 2010s, I guess, at the time. But going back to the song Gravity, Papa Roach was also in that lineup. So whenever Papa Roach was on stage and performed that song, Maria did get on stage with them to perform it. So that was pretty cool. I mean, that's kind of a rare thing to see whenever you have a song with a guest and you get to see it all live. So, I mean, I would say that was a highlight of that show for sure. As far as, like, between Papa Roach and In This Moment, that was definitely a highlight there. But, ratings. Let's rate the album, shall we? What do we got here? Yeah, I was on the wrong page. A little behind the scenes here. So we have, of course, a total of 8 albums. So we got a couple of them in the 2000s. We got 4 in the 2010s, and then we got 2 in the 2020s. And I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to rate, of course, the first 2. They were kind of off on their own. And I'm going to say Beautiful Tragedy was the best of the 2000s, for sure. Hands down. Real heavy if you love hardcore. The Dream, not bad, but my least favorite of that decade, obviously. Then we move on to the 2010s, of course. I would say Blood definitely takes the cake on this one. Love that album. Real solid, good tracks all around. Definitely recommend it. As far as my least favorite, probably Ritual. I mean, other than the song Black Wedding, not really much memorable about it. And 2020s, we only got 2 albums there. I would have to say God Mode is my favorite, and Mother's my least favorite, obviously. But anyhow, yeah, that was my thoughts on In This Moment. And so we're kind of, next video we're going to stick to the metalcore theme, sort of from the same time period, so stay tuned, see who it is.